What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Badass Life channel. In today's poker segment, I'm going to show you guys a little recap of a session I played in Best Bet Jacksonville. There's quite a few hands that are pretty interesting. It's a 5, 10, 25 PLO game, so there's plenty of action, and we actually did pretty well. So let's get to it. Hey guys, in this first hand, we are just sitting down at the table. We loaded $3,000. Actually, no, I had $3,200 in front of me because I had 2 black chips left from my previous session that I forgot to cash out. So we have $3,200 in front of us. It's a 5, 10, 25 PLO game. We didn't buy in that deep, so we're gonna be willing to mix it up and play a lot of pots, play a lot of hands, try to spin it up and see what happens. So on this very first hand that I'm dealt, I looked down at Ace King 8-5, one suit. We have nut hearts. We open it up to $100 and there's 4 callers. So we go to a flop 5 ways, which is Ace Jack 3 rainbow. Checks it over to me and I c-bet for about half pot. I believe I made it $275. I think I could have made it a little bit smaller. It's 5-way action, so, and it's PLO, so it can be tons of combinations that have us beat, as well as tons of draws, even though there's no flush draw, but there could be some wraps in the mix. We do have a king, so we block some of that stuff, but we decided to go ahead and bet $275, try to narrow down the field, and that's what we do. We get 1 caller, and we go heads up to a turn, which is the 6 of diamonds. He puts backdoor diamond draw, and I do have the king of diamonds, but I did not want to get check raised. I didn't want to blow the pot with a single pair and no real draws, so I just went ahead and checked. Check back. The river is a 7 of hearts, which doesn't really complete any real draws other than 4-5, which would have been a backdoor straight draw. And the only hand that I could really potentially be worried about is some wrap type hands that he could have had in the flop, like deuce 4-5 type hands, maybe with an ace. But we're just gonna check it over again and see what happens. And he shows king 9x, so we scoop the first one. Is good for about $1,000 pot. In this second hand, we look down at the good old Ace Queen 5-3 one suit, 5 high hearts. It's not a very good hand. It's not a very connected hand, but we didn't drive 2 hours out here to be folding, especially when we have an ace and we have 1 suit. We can make wheels, we can make broadways, we can make a whole lot of things, so we're not folding. There's an open for $150 and we decide to call. We take a flop 4 ways and it comes 10-9 X. It's 3 spades. That's the relevant part. It checks it over to me and I decide to bluff at it because I have a nut blocker. So it would have been hard to win this hand if I just checked and the button checked back. Now if that was the case, I would only have 2 streets to tell my story, and I don't know if they would have believed me. So I went ahead and let myself pretty much almost full pot. I believe I bet $500. Aces, I fold that aces and then run into top set. So Mike with top set makes the call and we go to a turn, which is a 9 of spades. He checks it over to me again and I decide to barrel because that's the whole reason why we bet to begin with. We were not going to quit and we were just going to have to empty the clip here if needed, unless the board paired, or pretty much unless the board paired. So we go ahead and bet $1,225 and he thinks for a little bit and makes the fold. So we get away with this one, guys, and we scoop a good size pot again. Another win for the good guys. Let's go to the next hand. In this hand, our friend Alex had just joined the table, and he opens it up from middle position to $125. We have king, king, queen 10 with king high clubs. So we go ahead and make the call, and Peter makes the call. Alex and I have relatively same size stacks. We have about 4,000 each. Peter has us covered like 7 times. He has over $30,000 in front of him, and we take a flop 3 ways, which is 8 of clubs, 3 of hearts, deuce of spades. I check it over to them, and Peter checks as well, and Alex puts in the c-bet for $350. I make the call, hoping that I wasn't gonna get sandwiched and Peter was gonna check raise, which thankfully didn't happen. He just goes ahead and folds. So we take a turn heads up, me and my buddy, which we have plenty of history. We always play back at each other. We're like really good friends, but we never soft play each other. So it's always fun whenever we get involved in the hands together. The turn is a 5 of clubs, which gives me king high club, a club draw. And I wish I would have let myself, but I didn't want to put myself in a weird spot. Just in case he would have like potted it on me, and then it's a lot harder for me to fold. So I just went ahead and check it over to him again, and he checks. And the river, it's a queen of hearts. So nothing changed. I have a single pair hand in PLO, which is not good all that often. So I go ahead and check it over to him one more time, and he just checks back. He flopped top pair with 10-9, 8-4, and didn't go with it. So we got you this time, Alex. In this hand, the $100 straddle is on, and we look down at pocket aces. This is like music to our ears. We're gonna be able to open it up to $375 because it's 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, and that's what we do. But everybody calls. As a matter of fact, I think I had another friend at a different table. He came and told the dealer he wanted to call as well. So we go to the flop 6 ways, and the flop is Jack 10 5 rainbow. Now, it's not necessarily a great flop for us. We do have a jack, so we're blocking some 2 pairs and also top set, but there is 6 ways to this flop. There's so many people out there, so many cards out there, there's so many hands that have us in bad shape. We do have backdoor diamonds, but I think like our best option is probably try to get to a cheap turn and see if we can pick up any more equity. If we don't, then we're probably going to be done with the hand, or at least try to get to a cheap showdown. But that does not happen. Peter makes it $1,500, and now Alex is pondering. Alex has the mystery hand in this hand. The RFID wasn't able to read his cards, so nobody knows what he had except me, because he told me afterwards. Alex ponders for a minute, and he decides to go all in for $2,600. It folds back to me. At this point, I know that there's no chance that I'm good here, and I make the fold. The turn is actually the 3 of diamonds, which would have gave me the nut flush draw, and at this point, I don't think I would have been able to fold. But it's a good thing we folded on the flop, because the river is the 7 of clubs, and our nut flush draw bricked. 8-9 gets there, but Alex just goes ahead and mucks. Peter has a set of 10s, which is going to be good to scoop this pretty nice size pot. After the fact, I talked to Alex. He told me that he had top 2 with open-ended, so as also a pretty good hand. So unfortunately, he couldn't get there, and we're gonna go to the next hand. Better luck next time, Alex. Alright guys, sorry for the spoiler alert here, but I have to tell you so that you understand what happened here. Remember earlier when I told you I had one pretty big hand and that the hands weren't in order? Well, this is the hand I was talking about. The $100 straddle is on, so effectively we have 20 big blinds, And yes, I am trying to make it sound less awful, the call that I made. But we were in a gambling mood. At the end of the day, when the straddle is on to $100 and we have about $2,000, effectively we have 20 big blinds. So we got in the mix. We flatted the $100 and then Peter squeezed it and made it 500, I believe. Few people called and we decided to make the call with Jack 10 3-3. Please don't do this at home. The flop comes 7-6-3, 2 clubs. Now we are in pretty bad shape because Peter actually flopped top set with king high clubs. He has king 7-7, but we don't know this at the time. Henry has ace king 7-3. Matt has 8-4-4 deuce with 8 high clubs. So everybody has a piece of it, and this is actually a crazy pot. On the flop, Matt just piles it in. I believe. Actually, no, he check calls. Action goes to Henry, and Henry leads out for... I don't remember. I don't remember. You can see it on the clip. But I decided to go ahead and pile it all in. Actually, he made it 1,500. That's what it was. My stack was super awkward. I couldn't just call the 1,500, leave myself $500 behind. I think I actually had a little under $2,000. So we go ahead and pile it all in. It gets back to Peter, and Peter has a monster here. He doesn't have the nuts, but he has top set with the second nut flush draw, which is more than enough to try to play for stacks here. So he goes ahead and puts in the 3-bet to $8,000. Matt puts in the $1,125 that he has left, and Henry tanked forever. I mean, you can't blame him. He has a very marginal hand here. The commentators were chopping him apart because apparently up to this point he had actually played pretty solid. He has built up his stack. He had quite a hefty profit that he, for whatever reason, decided to gift to Peter. But what are you gonna do? The side pot actually became massive, and he decides to make the call for $8,000. We are all in. Matt's all in. They have to take a turn, which is the 8 of hearts, I believe. The turn is the 8 of hearts, and they pretty much get it all in. Henry checks. Peter goes ahead and puts them all in. He tanks and ends up deciding on a call. So we are told the bad news. We see that he has top set with king high clubs, and we are pretty much just getting ready for the rebuy, right? Like, I mean, we need a 9-ball and a 9-ball only. That it's not a club, so we have 3 outs. And guess what? 9-ball on the corner lets us keep the main pot, but Henry was not able to. Henry was drawing dead, so he pretty much punted off his stack to Peter, and even though Peter lost the main pot and we won it, he still made a pretty good amount of money in this hand. On this next hand, Mike opens it up to $300 on the button. We call and 2 other people call. We take a flop 4 ways, which is 7-6-4. We have the good old ace 8-5-5 double suited. We have ace high hearts and 8 high clubs. So we flop ourselves the nuts. This is looking good. We go ahead and bet $450. It's about third pot, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit less. And it folds back to Mike on the button. He flopped middle pair and open-ended. So he makes the call. The turn is an offsuit 10, so it's a complete rainbow board. And now there is only one hand that beats us, which is 8-9. So we're trying to put in the trap, give him some rope. If he doesn't have that hand, maybe he thinks we're weak if we check it over to him. So I don't think we have a whole lot of things to protect from. So we decide to go ahead and check it over to him. and he bets 1,000. We don't really love it, but at the same time, we are not folding. There's only one hand that beats us, and we have an 8, so we are blocking that hand. And for those reasons, we decide to make the call. The river, it's a jack of hearts, so nothing really changes. If we were beating the turn, we're still beat now, and if he was bluffing on the turn, he'll most likely still be bluffing now. So we check it over to him again, and he puts in the bet for $2,000. It's a tough spot. It's one of those things where you kind of know that there's a good chance that you beat, but you kind of have to cry call. If I fold here, I can be exploited way too easily. I mean, I do have the second nuts, so if I fold the second nuts, what am I calling with? Am I only calling with the nuts? If that's the case, it'll be very unbalanced. But anyway, we decide to go ahead and make the call, and he shows us the bad news. It was a little bit tilting because it was towards the end of the stream, so we thought that we're going to lose a lot of our profits in this hand. But we found another hand where we got most of it back, if not more. So let's get to that one. This hand is the last hand of the night. Right after this, we're going to go play upstairs, but this is going to be the last streamed hand. So we definitely want to play it, see if we can bank a big hand in the last hand. Alex makes it 200 to go, and a couple of people call before me, so I make the call. There's one caller behind me as well, so we take a flop 5 ways. The flop is King 7-6 2 spades. We have King 9-8-8, so we flop top pair and open-ended, but Alex flops middle set. He has 8-7-7-6. Matt has 10-10-5-4, so he flaps the bottom open-ended and pair in his hand as well. Alex goes ahead and c-bets for 500 bucks. He makes the call, and I make the call as well. The turn is a very action card because it's the 10 of clubs. So Matt makes his set, and I make the nuts. I make the nuts straight. Alex c-bets for $1,500, and Matt goes all in for his remaining 1,275 bucks. I decide to go ahead and go all in myself because I don't want a spade to get there and then play the guessing game. Does he have it? Does he not have it? As well as, you know, any other Broadway card that can complete the Broadways, and he could potentially get there with hands like Ace Queen Jack 9 or Queen Jack 9X, all those type of hands that contain spades with them. So if he does have any of those type of hands, we're just gonna go ahead and get it in now, get it in while we have the goods, and see what happens. But he decides to go ahead and let go of his middle set, and Matt asks us if we have the nuts, and we tell him the bad news. With Alex having a set in this board as well, it's a lot less likely that the board is going to pair, and it didn't. The river is an offsuit jack, and we're able to scoop the last pot of the night, good for $4,700. We were in the session for just a little bit over 4,000, and we were out of it for just a little over 12,000. So we made around $8,000 in this live stream. We had a lot of fun. It was really fun playing with Alex. Thank you guys for watching and following the journey. I really appreciate all the love and support. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button below, as well as the notification bell, so that so that if you want to continue watching my videos, YouTube notifies you whenever I put out a new video. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you next time. Alright, that was it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. Also hit the notification bell, so whenever I put up a new video, YouTube notifies you and you're able to watch it. Thank you so much for the love and support. I really appreciate you guys following my journey. And don't forget to watch the next video. Till then.